It was a chilly autumn evening when Emily, Mike, Emma, and Jake received the mysterious invitations. They had arrived enigmatically on their doorsteps as if blown in on the wind. The ornate black envelopes, sealed with crimson wax, bore invitations to the illustrious Willowbrook Mansion's Halloween Masquerade Ball. The invitations had an aura of exclusivity, beckoning them to an event that promised an unforgettable evening, a chance to mingle with the city's elite in one of its most historic venues. In the early 19th century, Willowbrook stood as a grand symbol of prosperity and sophistication, a testament to a vision of an elegant and opulent estate where the aristocracy of the time could gather and celebrate their riches. The mansion boasted a grand ballroom adorned with crystal chandeliers, intricate frescoes, and ornate marble floors. Its sprawling gardens were a breathtaking sight, filled with lush greenery, delicate fountains, and fragrant blooms. Guests from all corners of society were invited to revel in its decadence, dance to the enchanting music performed by a private orchestra, and bask in the splendid opulence of Willowbrook Mansion. Filled with a mixture of curiosity and excitement, the four friends ventured out to the mansion under a moonlit night. As October painted its spectral palette across the town, Halloween decorations bloomed with eerie vitality. The streets became a visual symphony of oranges, blacks, and deep purples, splashed with autumn leaves. The aura of the season was intoxicating, brimming with anticipation and shrouded in a sense of impending mystery. Gnarled branches of ancient oaks and maples, their skeletal fingers reaching for the sky, cast long shadows on the cobblestone sidewalks. Pumpkins, plump and radiant in their vibrant orange, adorned doorsteps and windowsills, their sinister grins illuminated by flickering candles within. Their anticipation was palpable when the four friends arrived at Willowbrook wearing their costumes and masks. The mansion, with its looming, ivy-covered walls, appeared as a portal to a different time. As they crossed the threshold into the grand Willowbrook Mansion, the scene was truly a spectacle to behold, seemingly untouched by time. They were immediately greeted by the grandeur of the grand entrance hall. The dimly lit space was adorned with ornate antique furnishings and draped in heavy velvet curtains. An immense crystal chandelier hung from the high ceiling, casting prismatic rainbows upon the floor. It was as if it had been perfectly preserved for 200 years. Following the sounds of music and revelry, they made their way to the heart of the mansion, where moonlight filtered through large Gothic windows, bathing the grand ballroom in an eerie, spectral glow. The Halloween ball was in full swing, with gossamer cobwebs draped between candelabras and stretched across the room. Skull-shaped candle holders cast flickering shadows upon the walls, and the scent of spiced cider lingered in the air. The guests, clad in intricate Halloween costumes, mingled amidst the dance floor, which bore the illusion of a haunted cemetery with faux tombstones and skeletal figures. Above, a sprawling web of intertwined black and orange silk ribbons draped from the ornate ceiling, resembling a canopy under which the masquerade would unfold. Beneath these decorations, the guests twirled and swayed, each adorned with a carefully chosen mask, their identities concealed behind grotesque, whimsical, or eerie facades. The atmosphere exuded a captivating blend of mystery and allure as the guests reveled in the thrill of the masquerade and the enchantment of the Halloween season. The orchestral music, played by musicians in tuxedos and period attire, filled the air with hauntingly beautiful melodies. They could see guests, adorned in extravagant masks and elaborate period costumes, waltzing gracefully across the ballroom floor, lost in a dance that transcended time. The atmosphere was intoxicating. It was impossible to resist the sense of timelessness. The invitations had told them to be prepared for a themed event, and they indulged in the thrill of playing their roles within the given setting, taking on mannerisms and affectations of the time. However, as the night progressed, a sense of disquiet crept into the festive mood as they began to notice something strange. It was the same guests passing them by again and again, their masks transforming from one intricate design to another with each encounter. It became evident that whoever these people were, they were repeating the same steps, the same dance, locked into some kind of continuous cycle. The music took on an eerie, distorted quality, and the movements of the dancers became mechanical and lifeless. The sense of unreality deepened as a disconcerting notion rose up within the group, one that seemed unbelievable at first. That these were not people dressed like the mansion's first revelers. They were those very revelers, trapped in an eternal dance, having long since lost any semblance of their former selves. Only the dance remained. They were all very aware of how remarkable that explanation was, but they could offer no other. The dancers seemed entranced by their never-ending performance, but they barely acknowledged the newcomers. Their eyes, hollow and vacant behind ornate masks, lacked any spark of recognition or individuality. The guests glided past the newcomers, their steps rehearsed and mechanical, their bodies moving in perfect synchronization. Occasionally, they would brush against the outsiders, but even then, there was no reaction, no sign of awareness. Jake reached up and touched his own mask. He could feel it tightening against his skin. This action caused what appeared to be a momentary shift in the dancers, as if they were faintly aware of what had just happened. A terrible realization fell upon him. "It's the masks," he said. Despite the protests from the other three, he desperately attempted to remove his mask. He screamed as it ripped away, taking his own flesh with it. This met with an immediate, nightmarish reaction from the dancers. Their movements became frenzied, a violent whirl of movement as they swarmed him. In an instant, his body vanished beneath the blur until nothing remained. There was no sign that he had ever been there. Then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. The revelers all returned to their eternal dance, moving once more in time with the haunting melody of the orchestra. The remaining three recoiled in horror, understanding that the masks were the only barrier between them and the same inexorable fate. They dared not tamper with the nightmarish trappings of this place again. Over the relentless passage of time, their humanity slowly eroded. The enchantment of Willowbrook Mansion held them in its relentless grasp, leaving no room for escape. There were no exits to be found, only the weight of the revelers continually pressing them into the dance. Days turned into years, and their once vibrant selves withered away. Their expressions grew vacant, their steps mechanical, and their laughter an eerie echo of what had once been. Emily, who had reveled in the charm of the masquerade alongside her companions, found herself particularly drawn into the nightmarish abyss. She had never been the same since Jake's disappearance, and her will to resist was nearly gone. Her friends tried in vain to pull her back, but the insidious power that gripped her was unyielding. It was as if invisible tendrils of darkness coiled around her very essence, slowly, methodically tightening their grip. The process was excruciating, her mask adhering to her face with a cruel determination. Desperation filled her as the mask melded seamlessly with her features, sealing her fate. In the end, it was a violent, agonizing metamorphosis. Her consciousness unraveled like fraying threads, and she joined the ever-growing ranks of the mindless revelers. As her humanity slipped away, she became another spectral figure in the ceaseless masquerade, locked in an eternal dance without purpose, her identity lost to the depths of the mansion's malevolence, a mere shadow of her former self, forever trapped in the macabre waltz of the doomed. Only Emma and Mike remained, and they could feel their humanity slipping through their grasp. The chilling reality of their situation was an unbearable weight. In a desperate, whispered conversation, they agreed that there was no future for them in this masquerade. They could feel the tightening embrace of their masks, the inescapable pull of the sinister dance. With a sense of resolution, they turned to each other, their eyes locked in a mournful gaze. Emma's voice trembled as she admitted she was ready to remove her mask and face whatever lay beyond. She looked up at Mike, her eyes welling with tears, and asked if he was ready too. Mike, in a monotone, emotionless voice, responded, "Ready for what?" His words were chilling, and Emma felt her heart sink. She tried to think of an answer, but could find no words. She couldn't recall what they had been discussing. The dread and urgency evaporating like mist. There was a peace in the emptiness. As the masked couple gazed at each other with vacant expressions, they allowed themselves to be carried away by the haunting music. Their identities, dreams, and memories had been obliterated, absorbed into the relentless dance of the eternal masquerade, their former selves lost to the malevolent curse of Willowbrook Mansion. The eternal masquerade continued its unending cycle, a macabre dance of the damned, where the guests had sacrificed their humanity for the cold and never-ending spectacle. The future was now a boundless void, where the past and future were indistinguishable, and the Halloween dance would never end. Thanks for listening. See you next time. If you enjoy our videos, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.